recording is on.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to LisaBug Yoga for All Levels. And today we had some special requests for neck. And so we'll be spending some time starting in that area. And so I'd like for you to get comfortably seated. If sitting cross-legged on the floor for a fair amount of time doesn't feel comfortable, maybe you're sitting in a chair for the first part of class. I just want you to make yourself nice and comfy. Sometimes when I'm on the floor sitting cross-legged for a while, I like to sit up on a little bit of a cushion, a prop, and that lifts your hips up away from the mat a little bit. And if we're tight in the hips, as I am, it allows the knees to fall open a little bit more relaxed and for your pelvis to come into neutral. If we're tight in our hips, sometimes we sit like this and we're slumped and rounded because we don't have the flexibility to bring our pelvis into neutral. So find that neutral position, whether you're in a chair, on the floor, and let's close our eyes for the first few moments of class today. And just come into the present moment. Bring your mind and your awareness to your breath. And notice the texture of your breath. The speed of your breathing today. If you're feeling relaxed, the breath slows. If you're feeling a little anxious or rushed getting to start class today on time, it might be picked up a little bit in terms of the pace. And that's something that we can control to some degree. So we're going to begin practice with what we call the equal ratio breath. And that's where the duration of the inhalation matches the duration of the exhalation. And sometimes we can count the breath, or we can just feel the breath. So exhaling completely, as you inhale, maybe a count of 3 or 4, allow the belly to expand forward. And as you exhale that same count of 3 or 4, draw the belly in to complete the exhalation. And you can even place your hands right on your abdomen to feel the belly moving out and in. And it's like filling up a balloon with air. Matching the inhalation to the exhalation. Let's take 3 more breaths. And once you've completed that 3rd exhalation, blink your eyes open with a soft gaze. So as we move our awareness into the neck, we're going to be very gentle with our range of motion, with side bending the neck, with rotating the neck. So we're protecting those cervical vertebrae. So take the heel of your right hand and place it against the right side of your head. And we are just going to use the muscles of the neck and press the head gently in toward the heel of the hand. So I'm creating just a mild contraction. And then release that contraction. The heel of your hand can stay there in connection. We'll do that twice more. Press. And release. And one more time, put some energy into your hand as we're working on neck strengthening by contracting the muscles. And then release that side and relax the right hand down. Take the heel of your left hand, gently press it against the side of the head. We're avoiding our ear. And then press into the hand, holding, and then release. Press again, and if we're looking at intensity on a scale of 1 to 10, this is only maybe about a 4 in terms of how hard you could push. And release. One more time, strengthening, and we're strengthening our neck in this lateral flexion. So you might feel this muscle tensing on that side of the neck. And let's release and relax. And you can use just your right hand at your forehead, or maybe the heel of both hands, place them at the forehead, and push into your hands. And release. These are those muscles that get really tired, press again, when we're doing sit-ups. So I know most of all of us have experienced that when we're laying on our back and we're doing sit-ups, that our neck gets really tired. Let's release that contraction. And we'll press one more time. Push into the heels of your hands. And we're strengthening the front of the neck flexors, the scalenes. And release and relax your arms. You might start to feel a little bit of a warming sensation through the neck. So we have one more direction, and that's behind us. So you might interlace your hands together, put them back behind the head, and we're not really going to tip the head way back, but press into the hands, hold with a mild contraction, and release. Inhale, exhale, and contract, push. Now try not to tense your jaw up as you're doing this, so it's not about your mandibles. And release. Let's do one more press back into the hands. Just gently tensing those muscles. And release and relax the arms. Now we're going to take a semicircle with the head. So you'll tip the right ear toward the right shoulder. Start to roll down so the chin comes to the chest. Then finish with the left ear toward the left shoulder. And come back up to neutral. So we're not going back. We'll do it again to the right. So right ear, chin to chest. Left ear, and neutral. Third time is a charm. One more this direction. And once you come to neutral, we'll reverse. Left ear, left shoulder. Chin rolls down to the chest. Right ear, right shoulder. And neutral. Two more. Lateral flexion, rotation, forward flexion, rotation, lateral flexion, and neutral. Last time to the left. Once you come back to the center, look to the right as far as you can with a rotation of just the cervical spine. And then we'll add the rest of the spine. So start to rotate your chest. You can reach your left hand across to your right knee or thigh, your right hand behind you, and really sit up tall as we hold this twist. Now keep the body rotated to the right, but just rotate the head to the left. So you're going to look as far as you can to the left. So we're in a spiral twist. The cervical spine is moving the opposite direction from the thoracic and the lumbar spine. Bring the head back to the neutral line and the rest of the body as well. Now just the head alone looks left. Then add the rest of the spine to the left. Right hand can reach across, left hand behind you. Try lengthening the spine upward just a little bit more. Hold your body here, the torso, but turn your head to the right. Maybe noticing any differences between right and left sides. Bring our head back to the neutral position and the rest of the body as well. Let's inhale, come into chest expansion. Pull your arms back. Exhale, wrap the right arm on top of the left. And we can hug here. We can wrap into eagle arms. Or we can just hold the right arm across the front of the body. So those are your variations. Hug, eagle, or shoulder stretch. From this position, drop your shoulder blades down. Pull your elbows as much as you can over to the left side of your body. So you can do that from the wrap or also from the shoulder stretch. And then look to the right side. We did this one last week in our warrior stance. It was very well received. And I'm feeling a nice stretch in my neck as well as the back side of my right shoulder blade. Let's bring the head back to neutral position, the elbows as well. Unwrap the arms, inhale to expand. Exhale, this time the left arm comes on top of the right. We can come into a hug, an eagle wrap, or a shoulder stretch on that left arm. Drop your shoulder blades down. So we're connecting with our lat muscles right underneath the armpits. Bring your elbows as much as you can to the right side, but I'm not turning my body to the right. It's just the elbows coming across. And look left and hold. Try to increase the length of your spine again. Make sure you're not slumping here as we're seated. A couple more breaths. And then our chin comes back to neutral position. The elbows, unravel the arms, chest expansion. And then relax your arms by your side. Excellent. Good start for loosening up the neck. That's a quick little, maybe 10-minute stretch section that you can do throughout the day. If you're working on the computer a lot, you're finding you're getting a lot of tension in your neck, pull out that quick little segment and repeat that. Okay, let's come up to a stand. So take your time. And we'll come up to the short end of our mat. So we've got the long space behind us, standing in mountain pose. Lengthen out nice and long through the spine. And we'll inhale to sweep the arms out and up, stretch. Exhale, soften the knees and release down. Breathe in and breathe out. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. 1 more. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out and come into chair. So when we come into chair, the arm position is just an accessory. So they can reach up. This is traditional chair with the arms extended, or we can press palms at the heart to relax those shoulders. Arms can come forward for a more relaxed position. Now make sure your knees are tracking right over your toes, and we have the weight significantly back into the heels. We'll circle the arms down and around behind us as we rise up, and then sit back into chair pose. Circle the arms down and around, and sink, and one more. Holding your chair pose. Now shift your body weight into your left foot and pick your right foot 1 inch off the floor, but your chair pose position didn't change. And then shift your body weight into your right foot. Keep that knee bent as if you're in chair, and pick up your left foot 1 inch or 2 away from the floor. Let's do that twice more each direction. Body weight is in the left foot. The right leg lifts, and we're strengthening our left leg in a 1-leg chair pose. Shift to the right foot. Pick up the left. Imagine you're balancing a little cup of tea on the top of the head. One more time each side. Shift to the left foot. Pick up the right. And shift to the right foot. Pick up the left, last time. Nice and strong through your core and lower body. Then both feet are in your chair pose. Sweep the arms back behind you. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive down into forward bend. Our first forward bend of the morning, I want you to make it nice and easy. You can make this a half forward bend by bringing your hands to your shins, or even setting them up on a chair or a block. Or fold nice and deeply and relax your head. A forward bend is a nice place to use gravity to create a little bit of traction along the cervical spine and release compression in your vertebrae, giving space for the discs in between each bone of the cervical spine. Let's take one more breath here. And as you exhale, bend your knees enough to reach your hands down to the mat, tense your fingertips, and step your right foot way back behind you into a low lunge. And your back knee can stay up off the floor, or you can allow it to drop down. Either way is fine. And then we'll keep just the fingertips of the right hand on the mat as we twist open to the left. And look up toward the fingertips. We have a little bit of rotation through the neck. 3 breaths here. Now, if your core feels strong enough, you can lift your right hand completely up off the mat and hold this without any use of that right arm. When you finish that 3rd breath, exhale the left hand down. Stepping the right foot back in to meet the left, forward bend. Inhale, rise up, circle sweeping the arms. Exhale, swan dive back down into that forward bend. Bend your knees enough to tense your fingertips down to the floor, and step your left foot all the way back. So you really want to reach it behind you long. Option to drop your knee to the floor. Keep just the fingertips of the left hand on the mat and twist open to the right. Turn your head so we're working our neck through rotation, looking up, building strength in the neck because we have to hold it in position. Just a couple more breaths here. If you want to lift that left hand away from the mat, pull upward a little bit with your core. Also gives us a balance challenge. And then reach that hand back down to the mat. Step that left foot back to meet the right into your forward bend. Circle sweep the arms out and up. Reach. Press the palms together at heart center. And then step wide and open out to the long edge of your mat. Soften your knees. And we'll move into just a little bit of Tai Chi inspired movement. So take your right hand on top of your left. We're holding a little imaginary ball here. And as you shift your body to the right, rotate. And then turn the left palm on top and shift your body weight to that left side and rotate. Just a little bit of cloud hands as we come into a side lunge from side to side. Allow this movement to be very meditative. Allow the breath to flow. One more each direction. And then come back to center. Bring the palms of the hands forward to face the front. Squat down and press the arms in front. As you straighten the legs, turn your palms up, make a gentle fist, pull the shoulder blades back. Exhale and press out. With the breath, exhaling either nose or mouth. 2 more. One more, breathe in, breathe out, and hold. Bring hands to your hips, straightening the legs back up. Turn the right foot out, find a warrior 2 stance. You might need to widen your feet a little bit more. And here's a little hint with warrior, did I say 3? Warrior 2. With warrior 2, when you extend your fingertips, you want to have the wrists to be right over the ankles. So sometimes we get a little bit timid with our warrior stance and we're here. So let those legs really elongate, create a nice distance. And we are going to lengthen out into that right leg and then pull back toward the left leg. So I'm just shifting my waist as I reach and then pulling back from one side to the other. If it bothers your arms to keep them up in this position, you don't need your hands. They can be right here. We're just using our waist forward and back. Now with that movement, as you come forward, side bend over. As you pull up, pull back again, and side bend. So we move from side angle pose to reverse warrior, but we're making sure we're getting the shift of the upper body. I want you to notice the difference. If I don't shift my upper body, it looks like this. I'm doing the arms and I'm doing the side bend, but I'm not getting my torso to move as much as I can each direction. So reach and then side stretch. Pull it up and reach back behind you and side stretch the other direction. You might have to do it in pieces. Once you have it, then you can make it a flow where it moves really into one nice piece of movement. Let's do one more of each. And then come back to your warrior 2. And bring your hands either back to your hips or you can interlace them behind your body. Or you can grab a yoga strap and hold it behind you. I want you to take a really good chest expansion. I'm lifting my arms up a little bit behind my body. And we're still holding that stable warrior stance. Now, two options. You have the chance to stay up here or bow this forward into humble warrior two. So we're lowering that upper body down toward the mat, just like a forward bend, and relaxing the neck and breathing here. So for me, this changes the stretch in my right glute, that leg that's in front, and it gives me a little bit of a low back release. Might be the same for your body to experience those as well. And then if you're forward, we'll pull back up with the strength of the back side of the body. And then release those hands back to hips. And then we'll pivot to the feet. So the right foot turns in, the left foot turns out. We find our warrior two stance. And we can check and see if the wrists and the ankles are just about the same distance apart. And then just reach, shifting your waist, and then reach and pull back. Now it's easier to go to this side than it is to pull back to this side because of the position of our hips and this knee being bent. So you might feel like, wow, I can really go far this way, but when I come back, not much the other direction. And we're going to add this movement with our side angle reverse warrior flow. So I want you to reach first and then side angle, pull up, reach back, and reverse warrior. So the base part of the movement remains the same with the shift of the waist, and we just add the side bending of the body and the reaching of the arms. And we did a handful on the other sides, and I want to feel pretty balanced here. Keep moving this at your own pace. And also make sure that you're not bending forward at the waist. You can add any movement of your neck that you'd like. You can look up, you can look down. I like the looking up for the reverse warrior. It's really nice. Let's do one more of each. Stretch. And then back to our warrior two, nice and steady. Hands can either come to the hips or reaching behind for a chest expansion. Now, if you did chest expansion last time, notice that we always grip our hands the same way with the same thumb on top. I always do my left thumb on top. So I want you to switch the thumb that's on top and then switch the interlacing of your fingers. It feels really weird. But we do things the same all the time. It's amazing. Okay, we can stay upward with this stretch, or very carefully and slowly, so as not to use your balance and tip, fold this forward into our humble warrior. And then if you're down there in humble, you can move your head a little bit and really relax your neck, and then let gravity do the trick to pull the top of the head down toward the floor. Then we breathe. And then use the strength of the back body to pull yourself up. And bring the hands to the hips. Pivot that left foot back in. And then I want you to bring your feet a little closer together so you can do a heel-toe type of movement to walk those feet in a little bit. So just a little bit wider than hips distance apart. And then turn your right foot out. We're going to circle sweep this left arm out And then press the palm toward the diagonal. Inhale, circle. Exhale, press. Going back into Tai Chi inspired movement. And this is our balance work today, as we always put balance into yoga. So this position of the arm will remain the same. As you circle, step your right foot in, tap your toe, and then lead with your heel as you step back out and press. Circle to step in, lead with the heel, and press. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. One more. And press. Release that arm down. Pivot on your feet a little bit. So your left foot's turned out. Circle this right arm and press across. So there's more of a knee bend as we press, and then we shift our body weight back and press. We want to get that movement first before we add the balance. And then whenever you are ready, as you circle, step the foot in. You might need a couple of little steps, and then lead with your heel as you press. This takes a lot of control. And we're leading with our heel, and I want you to imagine that you're going for a walk, and you're like, I wonder if Lake Nokomis is frozen enough for me to go for a little walk on it. It's probably not yet, right? But you might test the ice by just gently setting your heel on it, but you've still got a lot of your body weight back into this foot, so that if you change your mind, you can pull back this direction. You don't have all of your body weight on that foot quite yet. Let's do one more. And then come back to center. Pivot both feet slightly turned out. We'll inhale a breath up. Interlace the hands together. Turn your heels of your hands towards the ceiling and stretch upward, but not hunching your shoulders. So you keep your shoulder blades down as you're reaching here. Then hinge from your hips to create a straight back movement. If this is too intense on your lower back, your arms come out of the movement and they come to your hip. And then we'll reach the fingertips toward the floor into a semi-wide forward bend. And we'll hold here, relax that neck one more time. This is going to be the last time the head is lower than the hips, so we can create that traction for the neck. 2 more breaths. And as we come up, we're going to roll our spine 1 vertebra at a time. So we start with the base of the spine. So we're tucking the tailbone under and then restacking the vertebrae. You still have a really rounded upper body. Your chin is toward your chest. And as you're restacking, your head comes up very last. We'll take 1 more chest expansion. Hands come behind the body or to the hips. Pull those shoulder blades back, and we can lift those arms up any amount from the back body. And then as we release the fingertips, turn back to the top edge of your mat and step back to that short edge. So we did some stabilization movements here to strengthen the lower body. So I want you to sit back into your chair again. Arms can either come up, forward, or at heart center. Shift your body weight into your left foot to pick up the right as we did before. So I'm in one-legged chair. Then this foot is going to go back behind me into either crescent lunge or warrior one. So the difference is crescent lunge, the heel is up off the floor. Warrior one, I can turn my foot out a little bit to set my heel down. And then slowly step back into your chair, but don't put your right foot down yet. Hover it up off the floor. And then set it down. Shift your body weight into your right foot. Pick your left foot up about an inch. Then with your balance, reach that foot back to either crescent or warrior one. And then this knee stays bent as you step back into one-legged chair. The left foot doesn't touch the floor yet. And then set it down. Lift the right foot up an inch or two. Hold. Step back, crescent or warrior one. Step into one-legged chair. Your right foot is off the floor. Shift into the other foot. Left foot is up, hold. Step back, find your pose. Step into one-legged chair. And then both feet are firmly planted to the earth. Straighten the legs, you're back to mountain. That's a really good balance drill and strengthening for the legs. So I want to move that into flight of the bird. So place the palms of your hands at heart center. You'll sit into chair. Shift your body weight into your left foot. Pick up your right. And as you step back into your pose, expand your arms like you're flying your wings open. Then close your hands back together, one-legged chair. Ooh, I lost that one. And then switch. Left foot up. Hold. Step back, flight of the bird. Open. Step in, one-legged chair. And switch feet, one more each side. Right foot comes up. Hold. Step back, flight of the bird. Step in, one-legged chair. And switch feet, last time, left foot up, hold. Step back, find your pose, expand. Close in, one-legged chair. Both feet are finding the floor, chair pose, hold. And rise up to mountain. Nicely done. We'll transition to our hands and knees, and we'll be kneeling for a bit. So if you need a little something to cushion your knees, find that and come down to hands and knees, all fours position. So sometimes our wrists can be pesky here. So if you need to use fists for wrists, you can make a little fist and put the knuckles on the floor. That's going to keep this joint straight so there's not as much flexion. So that's an option with this next series of movements. Or hands can be flat. So we will inhale to cow, drop the belly down, lift the tailbone, let the chin glide forward. And we are looking forward a little bit so we have some shortening of the back of the neck vertebrae. Then exhale to cow and look toward your belly and really round your back up. 2 more times. Inhale to cow, the belly drops, the chin glides forward. Exhale to cat, look toward the belly, pulling the chin in toward the chest. And 1 more time. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, and cat. Come back to neutral, and we'll do that same movement, adding the right leg. So extend that right foot back behind you. As you inhale to cow, the head comes forward and the leg raises. And as you exhale into cat, pull the knee in toward your chest, hollowing out the belly. Inhale, glide out long, lift. Exhale, pull in. Now we can do this keeping a soft bend in the elbows, or we can strengthen our triceps by doing a little bit of a tricep push-up. So as you lengthen that leg out long and look forward, bend your elbows, bringing your chest a little bit down toward the mat. Push yourself up and pull the knee in. So that's just up to you today if you want to add that scorpion modification. And just one more. And then come back to all fours. We're taking a break for our wrists for a moment, so come with your hands up off the mat for camel. Now when we do camel, we can have the toes facing the floor, or we can tuck our toes under and give ourselves a little bit of a stretch for our toes and our feet, and lift your heels from the mat. So let's take the fists, gently place them behind the sacrum, and we're not going to arch in our lower back. We're going to arch in our upper back. So pull your shoulder blades together, try to lift your heart up toward the sky, and open up your throat. You can also tip back a little further from the knees, so we're lengthening through our quadriceps. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. And pull yourself back up to neutral. And release the arms. Come back onto all fours. If you tucked your toes under, you can let them flatten back to the mat. Extend your left leg behind. Drop the belly, look forward with the chin. Let the leg rise. Exhale, curve the back, bring the knee in and round. And we'll let the breath flow, inhaling as our body goes long. Exhaling to pull that knee in. If you'd like to add the scorpion, as the leg goes long, we bend the elbows, and they're pointing back toward your legs. They're not out to the side. And then pull in. 2 more. This repairs and strengthens our body for chaturangas. 1 more time. And then come back to all fours for our camel, rising back up. Again, we can tuck those toes under. We can bring the fists again to the sacrum, or we can maybe reach our fingertips back and see if we can find our heels. And again, we're not arching more in the lower back. I want you to keep this pretty stable, but open up through the upper back, through that thoracic spine. And if it bothers your neck to tip your head back and to open your throat, then I just want you to bring your head forward and stack it in a neutral position. That's absolutely fine. Let's take a couple more breaths here. In our back bend. And then pull yourself back up. If your feet are tucked under, let them flatten back down to the mat. Reach the arms into an extended child's pose and drop your forehead down to the floor. And really stretch here. Open up through your armpits. Two more breaths. And then we are going to work on bow pose today. So in bow pose, it's a big stretch for your quad, your hip flexor, and you need to be able to reach your hand to your ankle. So if you're like, man, I'm not sure if I can do that one today, you might go ahead and get your yoga strap ready because you can use this as a little tool to be able to reach your hand to your foot. If you have sensitive frontal hip bones, maybe a little bit of a padding here to rest your hips on. We're going to come right down onto our belly. I'm making a pillow for my forehead with my left hand so that I can keep my head straight and not have my nose be into the mat. And I'm going to reach back and see if I can get my right foot. And if it's like, no, that's not happening, there's a couple of ways we can get it. We can roll over onto our side. That way I can bring my knee up and I can grab it, and then I can come back over. Or you can roll onto your side and loop the strap around your ankle, and then come back over on your belly. Now, if you'd rather stay on your side, that's fine too. And then we'll breathe here. So this is kind of a stationary modification for our bow. But if we want to make this a little bit more dynamic, we can lift the head and shoulders up and then use this left hand to press a little bit against the floor and lift up into a back bend. Or that hand can be lifted off the floor and use your back muscles to stay lifted up. And my quads are so tight that this is really challenging for me to be able to pull my heel into my butt. So I want you to be where you feel comfortable today. And let's hold a couple more breaths here. And if you're doing this later on YouTube and you really want to stay here longer, push the pause button and stay here as long as you'd like. Otherwise, live, we're going to switch. So release that ankle. You'll make a pillow for your forehead with your right hand, bending your left knee. See if you can get it. This is my bad arthritis knee, so there's like no way I can grab it right now unless I roll over on my side first, and then I can get it, or use my strap, and then rolling back over. If we start to get a little bit of osteoarthritis, as I do in this knee, it can affect the range of motion of the joint over time. And then if we can't bend our knee as much as we used to be able to, then that affects the flexibility of the muscles. So it's really good, as long as it's pain-free, for us to find that range of motion and maintain it. Okay, so we can keep this nice and passive or make it more active by lifting up, either placing that hand into the floor or reaching it out and using the strength of your back to stay lifted. And when you're up into this little bit of a back lift, that's going to open up your hip flexor a little bit more. And we'll hold here 2 more breaths. And then we'll release that ankle or strap and come back down, create a pillow with both of your hands underneath your forehead. So the last pose here in the sequence is either a full bow where you're going to grab both ankles and lift both legs and the upper back up away from the mat. If that's not a pose that feels right for you today, we're going to do Locust. So I'll show you Locust first. So with Locust, the legs stay straight. We are going to lift the legs up off the mat, lift the chest up, and then reach the arms back toward your toes. And you can do any variations with the arms. They can also reach side or reach forward. You're just going to hold this. If you're doing full bow, then we want to bend both knees, See if you can get both of your ankles and lift up. 2 more breaths, whichever pose you're in. Again, staying longer if you'd like, or we'll lower down and release those ankles. Bring the hands underneath your shoulders. Press yourself back to your child's pose, which is really important after a series of back bends, that we take a counter stretch for the lower back. The arms can be reaching out long, or you can just tuck them right next to the sides of the body, of the legs, and let that lower back readjust. One more breath. And then press yourself up. For our core pose today, we are going to work on low boat pose. So if you have lower back issues, you might want to have a little bit of a blanket or something underneath your pelvis when you are doing low boat. So I'm going to show that to you as I come down onto my back here. So we'll all start in a reclined position, laying on your back. To protect your lower back from arching, if you want to tuck a little blanket right underneath, not on your spine itself, but underneath your butt, underneath your hips, that's great for this pose. So low boat pose, rather than starting from a seated position, starts from laying down, typically. And what we're going to do is to take our legs up like we're doing legs up the wall. And your knees can also be bent here. So the legs, it's the lever. The longer lever creates more work. The shorter lever, less work, because we have less body weight pulling on our abs. So what I want you to do is curl your head and shoulders up as if you're going to reach up toward your feet. And then for our low boat, we just start to lower our arms and our legs simultaneously until our body says, oh, that's as far as we can go, and we're going to hold. If your neck gets tired in this pose, set it down or use your hands and gently relax your fingertips behind your head. We are going to hold here about 5 breaths. So again, your options are to bend your knees and drop your legs, or to lift your legs back up a little higher. 3 more breaths. 2 more. Last one. Then if your head is up, drop it back. Lift your legs back up to that legs up the wall position. And then we're going to flex and point. Flex and point. Now you can still have the blanket under your hips. If you want to put a block under your hips, you can as well, because activating the muscle pump of the shins and the calves helps the blood flow back toward the heart, the lymphatic fluid as well. And if our hips are a little higher than our heart, they're going to be able to make that fluid down toward the heart area a little easier. Now I want you to emphasize the pull of the toes downward toward you, and then just let them naturally release back up. So pull down, down, down. You're going to start to feel some good work in your shins. Down, down. Let's do 10 more. Pull, pull. Ooh, 8. They're heating up. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then bend your knees, set your feet down to the floor. Taking a figure 4 stretch, bring your right ankle across your left thigh. Pull your knees up to position. Now you can just relax your arms if you want and use your left leg to push the right leg up, or you can reach through and grab behind that left hamstring. We're going to straighten that left leg up and do 10 ankle pumps. Pull down, down, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then just bend your knee, but keep holding your figure 4 stretch. 2 more breaths. Then releasing, allow the feet to find the mat. A little switch so that your left ankle crosses the right thigh, your foot is flexed. Pull your knees up to find a little gentle stretch here in your left glute, or reach through, grabbing the right thigh, pull it toward you. Straighten your right leg up, pull your toes down, down. 8, 7, really emphasize the pull down. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just bend your knee, but keep holding your figure 4 stretch. So most of our day is we're walking, and always walking or running, whatever we're doing, striding, we're mostly using our calf muscle. The shin gets gets forgotten, and we don't use it very much. We have to use it a little bit to pick up our foot to walk, but these exercises are great to strengthen the shins. All right, let's release that down. Take your time to come up to a seated position so you can roll to your side and press yourself up as we prepare to close our practice today. So again, you can find a gentle cross-leg pose, whatever feels comfortable for you today. And I want you to check in with your neck. So we are going to take one of those half circles to each direction to finish. So right ear toward the right shoulder, chin to chest, left ear, left shoulder, and neutral, reversing, left ear, left shoulder, rolling down, chin to chest, right ear, right shoulder, and back to neutral. We'll place the palms together at our heart center, closing the eyes. We pause to reflect on our practice today and on our day ahead. And give yourself a little bit of congratulations and kudos for making your yoga practice a part of your day, prioritizing building a healthy spirit, mind, and body. And the light and joy that resides within me honors the light and joy in each of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope the body feels fantastic. I'll stay on for a few minutes for a check-in if anyone would like to say hello. If not, have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for some Tabata. Take care, everyone.